Hello guys, welcome to another session. In this session, we are going to look into the box model. This is one of the important concept of CSS that we will use to design the web pages. So let's jump into a diagram where we can understand that what actually the box model is. So this is the diagram of the CSS box model. So what actually CSS box model is? CSS box model is a container which contains multiple properties including borders, margin, padding and the content itself. So here the question comes is why we actually use the CSS box model. So basically we used CSS box model to create the design and layout of web pages. CSS box model can be used as a toolkit for customizing the layouts of different elements. One thing you must remember that whenever a browser renders a page, so every element particular page is rendered as a rectangular box according to the CSS box model. Box model has multiple properties in CSS like we are seeing over here: margin, padding, borders, content. In the upcoming session, we are going to discuss margin and padding in more detail, but for a time being, you can understand that margin is a spaces between the outer elements. That means how you can manage the spaces of different elements like we have seen earlier where we have used margin bottom to have the paragraph spaces between different paragraph elements. So padding is basically related with internal spacing. It includes the elements padding. This area is actually the spaces around the content area and within the border box. Padding dimensions are given by the width and the height of the padding box. Now coming to the question what actually border area is. So basically border area is the area between the box padding and the margin. So this area, this one is the border area and its dimensions are given by the width and the height of border. So now there is another definition that is called content area. So what actually the content area is? So basically it is related to the height and width of the element, and element can be anything: paragraph, image, text or any media content, and it is bounded by the content edge and its dimension are given by content box, width and height. So to understand it better, let's jump into the Visual Studio Code to write some example for understanding the box model. So we are into the Visual Studio Code, and the kind of setup we are having for this example is that we are having an HTML file and there is one style.css which is being attached with this HTML file. So now we will run it and we will look into how it look like without applying the CSS, and then we will write the CSS and we will look into the difference and we will understand the box model. So let's run it. So how we will run it? We can press F1, first select this file, press F1 and we will select the first option and it will give us an option called open in browser. So click on it. So here you will find that we are having this output. So now what we will do, we will go back to the Visual Studio Code and we will write the code for understanding the box model, and then we will see the difference. So let's jump into the Visual Studio Code. So here what we will do, we will tell that we are going to create a class which is going to be associated with this div, and the class is going to be called box. We will create this class and here also we will tell that class equal to box. Now HTML part is done. Let's jump into the CSS. CSS we need to define the box class. We will tell that box and then we will start defining the declaration, and here we will define the properties. The first property we are going to tell that margin. Margin is going to be 50 pixel, and here padding, then we will tell that we want padding of 50 pixel as well, and width we want to keep it 400 pixel, so keep it. Then height we want that 200 pixel, and border, this is important, we are going to tell that we want the border a thick border, so we will tell that 50 pixel size and we want it solid, and we want it the color of the border is maroon, and then we want the text should be aligned center, so write it center. And font size, I want the font size should be, here we need to specify that semicolon, sorry for that. So font size we want 36 pixel, and then we want that font weight should be bold, so let's write it. We already gone through all these font size, font weight in earlier session. If you haven't gone, please go through it, save it. Now let's look into the difference. Now let's jump into the browser and let's look into the output. So here you will get that the output will look something like this. Now this is the power of box model. So here we have applied the border, the margin, the padding. We have also mentioned width and the height. And with the help of box model, we are actually maintaining the spaces between the elements within the web pages. So this is what I wanted to demonstrate you in this session. See you in the next session. Till then, bye bye, take care.